The Tennessee Titans now have DeAndre Hopkins. Is this now a playoff team? Now, their defense is going to be really outstanding this year, right? They probably could end up having a top 10 defense. But offensively, though, even though now you have DeAndre Hopkins, a proven number one wide receiver, you got Ryan Tannehill, who's still a capable quarterback, you got Derrick Henry, I still don't know if Tennessee's odds of being able to get into the playoffs increases dramatically. Now, obviously, they got a way better shot making the postseason now than what they did prior to having D-Hop. But I don't think that with D-Hop, they're one of those teams that you look at and you say, oh yeah, for sure, they're going to be in the postseason. You look at the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, you look at them and you're like, yeah, for sure, I'm pretty confident. If I had money to bet on these teams making it to the playoffs, I would bet on them. Meanwhile, you look at the Tennessee Titans and they're one of those teams that you say, I don't know. The Titans are a team that you say, I mean, they have a good chance. You got Mike Vrabel. You know one thing about Mike Vrabel, he's a really good coach. And I think he's too good of a coach for this team to not be competitive in most of their games. Don't forget, they took Kansas City on the road in Arrowhead to overtime with Malik Willis at quarterback. So you got to give them a lot of props to that. They were fighting and scrapping with Joshua Dobbs at quarterback, trying to win the AFC South last year. They had pretty much scrap pieces starting because some of their better players were on injury reserve. So the Titans are a team that's always going to be ultra feisty. They're going to be scrappy. Even if you're better than them from a talent standpoint, they're just one of those teams that perfectly embodies the personality of their head coach in a good way. Now, I don't think that with D-Hop, though, they still are going to be able to get to the playoffs. The AFC is way tough. It's way too tough this year. If you don't have a great quarterback, it's really going to be difficult for you to be a playoff team. And if we go team by team, right, with just some of the teams that are the favorites to win the AFC, are the Titans going to get in the playoffs over Cincinnati or the Baltimore Ravens? Probably not. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, possibly. All right, let's go to the AFC East. Do you think they are going to get into the playoffs over the Buffalo Bills? No. New York Jets? I mean, possibly depending on how things go, but if things go great for Green Bay, well, if things go great for the New York Jets, then the Jets are probably going to be in the playoffs over Tennessee, and they probably are a more talented team than the Titans are, at least on paper. And then you look at the Miami Dolphins, as long as Tua stays healthy, they're going to be in the playoffs. So right now, for the Titans to get into the playoffs, they need to at least be able to win 10 games, and they need some things to kind of go their way with winning this division. Because if they don't win this division, it's going to be hard to get into the playoffs. You could be a 10-win team and still not make it in. And everybody thinks that adding another seed and having that 7th seed there gives opportunity for 8-win teams to get in there. Like, not in the AFC. I'm pretty confident that a 10-win team is probably going to have the 7th seed in the AFC this year. And excuse me if I said NFC, I meant AFC. Because the AFC is where some of the best quarterbacks reside. And for the Tennessee Titans, their best chance of making it to the postseason is being able to win their division, which is definitely possible. The Jaguars, I don't really think are locks, even though I think they're the favorites, but I do think that Tennessee isn't too far behind them. I think the Texans can make things a little bit interesting. I don't think the Colts are going to be all that good this year with how inconsistent I believe Anthony Richardson is going to be this year. And with DeAndre Hopkins being that elite presence on the outside, that's going to open things up for Treylon Burks and make his second season a little bit more easier. But is your offensive line going to hold up, though? Because their offensive line doesn't look good right now. When you can coach your way and scheme your way away around things or certain weaknesses that you may have. But if you're not good up front, you're not good up front. There's only so much that you can do to, avoid having that weakness exploited. If you're not good on your offensive line, there's only so far you can go. And for the Tennessee Titans, their offensive line just isn't really good. I mean, they got a couple of players there who could make some plays and could be pretty good for them on the outside with D-Hop, Traylon, and then you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. But outside of them, this is a top-heavy team. And this is a team that if they have one injury on offense, they could be screwed. And then if they have a couple on defense again, I think they will have the depth to overcome that. But I don't know if this offensive line is going to be good enough for this to be a playoff team completely. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars, luckily enough, the team that's favored to win this division, they have offensive line concerns themselves, which is why I'm not ruling out the opportunity that the Titans have to potentially surprise and win the AFC South. I do think that if I had to go on the confidence level of 1 through 10, their chances of winning the AFC South, my confidence meter would be a 6. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars at an 8. Just because they have the better quarterback. But I don't think there's a big transparency and talent between Tennessee and Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is just up here and Tennessee is just a little bit beneath them. So I do think that if the Titans get to the playoffs with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, it's going to be them winning this division. And if they don't win this division, I don't see how they get into the postseason. Like, it's just way too many great teams in the AFC with great quarterbacks and good head coaches that if Tennessee can't win this division and they have to backdoor their way into the playoffs, I don't think they're going to be able to get in, because I don't think this is a team that's going to win more than 9 games. I think 9 games is my best case scenario for the Tennessee Titans. Them winning 10 games would really surprise me.